Hello people and welcome back. Let's continue the work from last time and take our zooming to Ironsight logic here and see if we can improve a little bit on that. In the meantime, I figured out that I need to offset the Ironsight camera in order to make this better. So we can do that by dragging out the Ironsight cam. I'm just going to do it like this and say set relative location. We could also use set relative location and rotation if we wanted to switch turn a little bit, but let's just use this one like that. And we need to figure out how much to offset with this with, and I have right now no idea what that is going to be. So let's see if we can figure that out in a good way. So first of all, I guess we need to move it up a little bit, something like 10 units. Let's see how that looks. Well, that put us up a little bit, so maybe a little bit more. 15, 14. Oh, it's better. It's starting to look something. Oh, and we want to switch back now the direction to be using the direction of the gun instead of the direction of the camera. Oh, this looks pretty good now actually. Well, kind of need a better location for this, and in this video I also want to show a good way to, I mean, it's not like a super I don't know what the correct way to do this is actually, but it's kind of a nice utility debug thing to have at hand. So let's see, we want to make a new function, and we want to call that the debug key function. And what I'm after here is a way to alter a vector or a number of variables in real time and get a printout of those values, so I can see the result in runtime and get that value back. So that's what I hope that made sense. What we want to do here is to get first we want to get the player control, because there's a function called is input key down, and if we unclick this one, you can see it's here and it's on the player. So this is a player what do you call that, player control method function. So we can right click and say get controller here, and we can cast that to a player controller, and that's gonna go in here. And since we're gonna need, I know that we're gonna need that quite a few times, so let's promote that to a local variable. Get away, promote to local variable, and let's call this the local player controller. Okay, so we can just use our local player controller here instead. So we want to check a number of keys. So I'm just gonna pick the 8 on the numpad, because I have, and you can do whatever you want, but I'm just gonna use this to kind of increase something in because I want to make changes to a vector. I will have C, X and Y axis to alter. So I want to pick 8 as my forward, and I want to use 2 on the numpad to move it, decrease it. I'm just going to make these first, so it's going to be ready. Okay, and I want to use my 4 as something to move it to the left, and I want to use 6 as something to increase on the y-axis, and I want to use 7 to move something kind of up, and that was not 7, that was 7, and use this one numpad down and 1. I hope this kind of makes a bit sense. Anyway, off from each of these we want to make a branch, and what we want to do is to take a kind of let's make that variable here. Add, where did it go? Add variable, and this is gonna be our debug vector, and it's gonna be a vector, and we want to get that, and we want to split it. So let's say the forward and the backward, so these two are going to drive the changes on the x-axis. So what I want to do is I want to drag out x and add something to it, and then I want to set it back, and I want to do that if it's true, and then I want to split this one also, and I want to put it back into the x. So I'm going to do that off from this one. So if it's false, then I want to go to the next branch, which is going to be down here. This one. And okay, so I need a bit more space. And pull that down. Oh, maybe I need to pull it a bit more down. And from this one I want to minus something, and I want to put it back into the same. This one, and I want to put it in here. So this is what I want to do. This is for this one, and this is for this one. I want to do that for all 3 axes. And what I want to add, of course, is not going to be 1. It's going to be something which I want to be able to quickly change and modify in here. So on this one, I want to make a local, I'm going to call it local interval, not interval, and it's going to be a float. And for now, I'm going to give it a default value to 0.05. And I want to, well, I don't need to do that actually then. So instead of adding 1, I want to be adding that one, and not that one. I'm going to drag it in here. Nope. I'll drag it in here and pull it in that one. Wow. So we want to repeat that stuff, kind of. And this is not supposed to be pretty, okay? And I don't claim it to be pretty, okay? So just gonna put that somewhere here. So from the false dude here, plug it into the next branch. Oops. And from the debug vector x, drag that down to the y, and drag that down to the y, and damn it. Anyway, this one down here, this one down here, and then should have put these two up here, and off you go, and in you go, and off you go, and in you go. So that's the y-axis. Doesn't really matter what you do with these, as long as it makes a bit sense. Okay. So let's do the last one. Yeah. By now you should know what I'm doing, hopefully. If not, let me know on my channel, because I will check it and get back to you as soon as I can, if I know what I'm gonna answer. So that's it, I think. So now we have a nice bunch of spaghetti stuff here. Just gonna straighten that one out. Whew, lots of stuff. But that's basically gonna give us something to... oh shit, I forgot one thing when I copied this. These need to be connected. The Y to the Y, the C to the C, and the X to the X, and the C to the C, and the X to the X, and the C to the C, and finally the X to the X, and the Y to the Y, and so on, and so forth. There we go. Okay, sorry, damn it. Okay, it's not pretty, but I hope this will prove to be useful. So, back inside our event graph, we want to find the event tick, and since this is just a debug thingy, you want to well, plug it in when you need it, and make sure to remove it when you don't need it, because this is obviously not something you want to have running all the time. So, but this, by having it here, it's gonna give us that debug, make us able to change that debug vector here in runtime, and we can then use this vector to do stuff. So let's go back inside the event graph here where we called it, and print that value, debug vector, get here. Okay, and let's see how if this works. Okay, so we're getting a lot of stuff on the screen. So as you can see, the C is increasing now when I'm pressing the 7, and decreasing when I'm pressing 1, and I'm pressing 4 now. Then the Y is decreasing. It's actually increasing. Okay, never mind. It doesn't really matter which way they go, as long as you can figure out how to change all of them. Because, and now comes the fun part, now we can go into our set Ironsight vector rotation here, and plug that in, the debug vector in here. And actually we don't want to have that, because that is actually not what we want. You just want to take a copy of this Ironsight cam, because we want to do that all the time at every tick until we have the correct values. So plug that in and plug that in, and let's play. Okay, and let's go into first person, and let's try to now find a good location for our camera. Nope, that's actually pretty good. So let's, a bit off. Now we're getting too close to the camera, so this is also a bit too close. So somewhere here, let's try and shoot something. Looks like it's hitting pretty point blank on. Yep. Okay. I think these values are gonna be pretty good. So I'm gonna look at the side. It's saying minus 1.3. I'm just gonna have to write these down. Minus 1.35 and 1.55 and 16.15. Okay, now we can decouple this one, and we can go in here, and then we can now just hard code these values. So -131, damn it, 1 point minus, okay, get the 1.35 and 1.55 and 16.15. 16.15. Okay, so when we zoom in, we set that. Actually, we don't need to set it in here. We can actually just hang on a minute. I wonder if we could just set it on the location here, offset. Let's try it out this way first, and then see if you can change it in the transform section of the properties, because that. Okay, so right now we have something we can right click and it just pops right in, as you can see. And the reason why it pops right in is because of the transition we have, as you can see when I smooth this out, we have the zoom out happening pretty slowly and smoothly, but the switch to the camera is instantly, and it doesn't really look good, obviously. But the reason for that is that the zoom here is happening on the first person camera. So what we are doing is we are saying, okay, we want to switch to the Ironsight camera now, and then we want to do something else. But I still haven't really figured out what to do with this, and it's going to be something that we'll talk about in some of the next videos, I think, because right now I have not really decided what to do with this. Because as I will mention later on in a bit, or in a future video, there are quite a big few problems with this approach. So this is just to warn you. This is just I think I would say a pretty quick hacky way to implement this stuff with the head rotation, not the head rotation, the Ironsight. Minus 1.35. Can you type that in? 1.55 and 16.15. Okay, so that puts it. Oh, it looks like it's correct. So it's going to put the camera just above the hand, and that means that we probably don't need this part where we set it. If you have different weapons, which you will probably have in a real game, then you, I suppose you want to have this being fed in by some kind of variable being kept on the weapon, which I actually already have, because on our weapon we have a weapon info, weapon stats, weapon info. I can't remember which one of them. Can you go to find reference at, no, maybe, where is it? Weapon info. We have an offset and stuff. Weapon under the interactables. It's been a while since I've been looking in this folder. God damn it, where did I put my stuff? Weapon type? Weapon stats? Nope. Okay, I see I had a lot of ideas here. I was pretty sure I had something with, oh, I do have it. Weapon left hand offset. I've been looking at it all the time. Okay, great. So you want to probably add something here. Okay, I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna show it on the video. What? Because that's gonna be pretty boring. New variable. It's gonna be weapon cam that's gonna be a vector, and it is gonna be -1.35. Okay, I'm gonna show it anyway, I think, because now I'm doing it. I was gonna say goodbye and see you in the next, but since I'm already done with this already, then might as well just do it. So let's save all, and right, then go back to our base character blueprint, and let's go ahead and plug that one in again. And then we want it, just for the purpose of this demonstration, zero this one out so we can see that it's actually being picked now from the weapon stats. It's gonna be a weapon equipped. I want to do something here, because if we return a weapon, have a weapon equipped, then I'm just gonna return the weapon. We're gonna return the interactable reference like that, and it's gonna be the equipped item. So it's gonna come out here, otherwise it's gonna be null, nothing. And we can drag out from this one and say get weapon info. So if this is true, we have the weapon info. Whoa. And we just want to take that weapon info Ironsight offset and plug that right in here. And that basically means that if we have a different weapon, we can just put that offset inside that weapon, and then all the rest of the stuff will automatically adjust. So that was pretty neat, huh? Okay, so in the next video, yeah, I will address some of these issues and talk a little bit about some problems we might have with this. Because right now I think we have something that is working. Obviously it needs a little bit more attention, but it is actually working, kind of. So, okay, thank you, and be seeing you in the next video. Bye.